Moving on, Ms. Christine Cappadona, principal of the Jacob School, is going to give a brief overview of her budget.
Am I supposed to be very brief?
Your call.
Good evening, Dr. Terrell, committee members.
9:19 is the tip-off, though.
Okay. I got it. In your packet, you have a budget overview from this current year. We are pretty much going to stay the same. There are a few changes in staffing due to enrollment. We will be decreasing a 3rd grade classroom teacher and a 5th grade classroom teacher due to our numbers. There will be no layoffs because of our retirements. We have 3 first grade teachers retiring, so we will be able to move staff around, which we're very fortunate. I'm excited to say that we already have 50 kindergartners registered. We've never had this many registered at this time, so I'm very excited.
It's
really great.
I must say,
That's really good
the
news.
best news.
Yeah, we've been working really hard, outreaching to community members who have students in private schools, and working really hard at having tours and having people in our building to see how great it is, because it is an amazing school and we're very proud of it.
And Ms. Cappadona has given countless tours, and 3 children are coming back from private schools because of the work Ms. Cappadona is doing. Because when people come in and see the Jacob School, they say, wow, this is so much better than I knew, and it's so much better than the situation where my child is now. Seeing is believing.
You gotta get in there.
And Ms. Huxtable went for a tour, and Ms. Cappadona tells me you were very impressed.
Oh, it was great. We walked around and the children got candy.
That's always a good day.
From their cousin, so it was funny. And, no, it was great. They had a great time and they interacted with the classrooms, and it was
that's the
cool.
experience that other families are having. So thank you for doing that.
Well, I can't take all the credit to the entire Jacob staff working towards that school climate and culture. In terms of our elective teachers, they will remain the same. We will be looking to hire a physical education teacher. We've had a long-term sub this year, so we will begin that hiring process, as well as an art teacher. And Mrs. Gallagher, unfortunately, is retiring as well and will be missed. But we will be hiring a few teachers for this upcoming year. Everything else in terms of support staff will remain the same. On the second page, under supplies, we are going to work within the current budget that we have this year. We'll continue to work. I worked with the media specialist here at the high school in terms of ordering books and what types of books to order, so we will continue to do that. We also work with the PTO for the Scholastic Book Fairs to purchase books for our school library, so we will continue to do those things for our library. One move I'm just kind of changing, we'll work within our budget, is a science room. I'd like to have a science room where we have experiments set up where our older students can demonstrate science concepts to our younger children, and have that room available for all of our students to utilize, so that we're not taking down experiments and putting them away, but that more students can access them. Sorry, I have to put my glasses on. In terms of our curriculum and textbook, we're not going to be ordering anything new. We are going to be looking at our trade books and making sure if we need to update so that all students have some familiar reads within their classrooms. And Scholastic Storyworks is something that we implemented this year that we will continue to implement, and it's a magazine-based literature from Scholastic that has nonfiction poetry, literature, great vocabulary within it, and it's user-friendly for classroom teachers. Are there any other questions?
Anyone have any questions for Ms. Cappadona? I'm sorry?
Let's have a couple comments. One thing I think Christine brought this up when I don't think we talked about it earlier during the budget presentation, the number of retirements that we have in the school district, which is really when Eric talks about the increased cost for special education, you know, one thing that's kind of helped us out, which will help us out actually next year, is the number of retirements, because instead of bringing in teachers, you know, at the higher steps, we can bring them in at maybe a midpoint or something, so we can save a few dollars there. So every dollar we can save can kind of go towards the regular ed or the special ed. So I think that's a very important part. And then the other question, so exactly on the science room, what exactly is that going to be? This is going to be like a you're gonna set up like a laboratory where you have experiments in there that are already pre-set up or something, or?
For the older grades, for more 4th and 5th grades, where they'll be able to access and utilize them within their classrooms based on what the content is that they're learning in those lessons.
Okay.
But then have the younger students come up so the older students can show them how to use the experiments and just kind of learn from each other. Because it's just a spiral. They continue to learn and grow.
That's good, excellent.
That's a great idea, actually. I hear feedback from my own kids, both on the higher end and the lower end, in terms of reading buddies and things, where the older grades interact with the younger
Right.
kids, and they've had fantastic experiences.
Good, I'm glad.
So fostering that in terms of science is
Yes.
a great idea as well. And thank you for putting this together. I think, you can pull out the 2 pages of our, spreadsheet out of the budget for the Jacob School, but when you see, what does this really mean in real terms that that the general public can understand in terms of, how many, preschool teachers, kindergarten, and, et cetera, it makes it a little easier for people to digest, and I appreciate it. And also in terms of, the efficiencies, we've had, because of enrollment, 2 fewer Jacob School elementary teachers will be there next year, but those 2, that's not a reduction of 2 FTEs on our overall budget. Those are actually going to be redeployed, as we've talked about, in terms of special education, actually. I think 1 at the middle school and 1 at the high school. So we do make changes all the time to suit our needs. Anyone else?
Christine's upset, though. One of those was redeployed to the Jacobs.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
My bad. All right, thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Christine. Thank you very much, Ms. Cappadona.